Right, so we are jumping right in. And I mean, looking closely at this draft, the weakness is that it treats the critical terms of service risks regarding automated engagement as, well, like a late stage footnote.
Exactly, yeah. It softly buries the reality that users without an established offer are just going to struggle.
Yeah, the text extensively praises this visual human mode taking over Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and Quora, but it drastically downplays the inherent risk. Right. The risk of running automated scripts, even highly sophisticated ones that mimic human scrolling and typing on primary social media accounts.
And furthermore, the warning that this tool is not for those still defining an offer is just, easily lost amidst the hype of the $3,000 per month claims.
Hold on a second, though. Let's play devil's advocate. If I'm an affiliate marketer writing a review, my goal is to get the reader to click my link and buy the software.
Sure, of course.
So if I open my review by immediately blasting them with a warning about terms of service violations and the threat of getting their Facebook account banned, aren't I just killing my own conversions?
I see what you're saying. Why actively scare away the buyer, right?
Exactly. But look, readers in this space have evolved. So the suggestion to fix this weakness is to front-load the platform terms of service risks and the stark audience filters immediately after explaining the core technology.
Okay, so you need to create a distinct early section that explicitly filters the audience.
Yeah, calling out that established affiliate marketers, lead gen operators, and agencies will thrive, while beginners without an offer or those risking their primary accounts should just skip it.
Right, because by doing this, you aren't scaring them away. You are establishing profound authority.
Totally. When you tell a certain segment of your audience not to buy, the segment that should buy instantly trusts your recommendation.
I can see the logic in building trust there. But let's look at the mechanics of what the author is actually describing with TrafficOS AI.
Yeah, let's get into that.
The draft spends a lot of time talking about this visual human mode. It claims it's immune to detection. So, is it possible the author buried the risk because the technology actually mitigates that risk entirely?
Well, it mitigates algorithmic detection, certainly, but it does not change the underlying policy landscape.
Right, the rules of the platform are still the rules.
Exactly. Let's break down how this works, because the author touches on it, but we need to ensure the reader fully grasps it. Traditional bots operate via back-end APIs, application programming interfaces.
Right, which are basically invisible to the user interface.
Yeah, they fire off code requests directly to Facebook's or Reddit's servers.
And platforms spot those immediately because the telemetry, the data trail showing where the request originated and how fast it happened, is completely non-human.
Oh, entirely. It's like a guy standing outside a nightclub shouting with a megaphone.
Yeah. The bouncer, which is the platform's algorithm, sees him instantly and throws him out.
Exactly. But TrafficOS AI operates inside a real Chrome browser session.
Which changes everything.
It does. The material highlights that the AI workers actually open web pages, wait for them to load, read the DOM elements, which is the invisible structural code of the website that lets the software basically see where the text boxes and reply buttons are.
Right. And then it scrolls down the feed at a variable pace.
Yeah. And finally, it types out responses character by character.
So instead of the guy with the megaphone, it's like a guy dressed in the right clothes, waiting in line, showing his ID, walking to the bar, and quietly handing out business cards.
That's a perfect way to put it. The club doesn't know he's a promoter.
Right. It simulates the exact physical mouse movements, the micro pauses between keystrokes, and the visual navigation that a human virtual assistant sitting in an office might perform.
It's a fascinating technological approach, and it's built on the Redify AI architecture to circumvent those automated detection systems.
It really is. And the AI content engine doesn't just drop a generic comment. It reads the context of the page and applies 8 distinct writing styles.
Oh, right, the styles. There's helpful, hook, authority, story, soft CTA, soft sell, Reddit style, and mild contrarian.
That is incredibly nuanced. I mean, if it's on a subreddit known for deep skepticism, it deploys the Reddit style or mild contrarian style to just blend in.
Yeah, or if it's in a Facebook lead gen group, it pivots to helpful or story. Like that, a checklist.
Yeah. For instance, clearly state, do not use your primary personal Facebook or X account for visual human mode. Always use dedicated affiliate profiles.
I see where you're going. Because if you run this highly sophisticated bot on your 10-year-old personal LinkedIn account, and LinkedIn eventually updates its algorithm to detect mouse movement anomalies.
You lose your entire professional network.
Exactly. A shadow ban, where the platform silently hides your posts without telling you, is devastating for a primary account.
So the checklist forces the user to practice good operational hygiene.
Exactly. Another concrete example. The author needs to explicitly state the strategic reality of the software.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they should write something like, if you don't have a high-ticket offer ready, this tool will only amplify a broken funnel. Automation scales what you have. It doesn't create demand from scratch.
That is such a vital point. And finally, when describing how those 8 distinct writing styles evade spam filters, pair that directly with the terms of service warning.
Right. Explain that while the styles mitigate algorithmic detection, they do not change the fact that platforms like Reddit and Quora strictly prohibit automated engagement.
You know, the magnifying glass analogy from the draft feels a bit weak here. I think a better way for the author to frame this is to think of automation like a massive industrial pump.
Oh, I like that. Go on.
If you hook that pump up to a well full of clean water, which is a high-converting proven offer, you get an incredible, scalable output.
Right.
But if you hook that pump up to a dry well, the machine just burns out its motor. The beginner gets swept up in the dream of the output, the commissions, without confronting the reality of the input.
Which leads us perfectly into the financial realities of this launch. Navigating a multi-tiered software launch requires a clear narrative roadmap rather than a disjointed catalog of individual prices and upgrades.
Oh, absolutely.
Looking at this section, the weakness is that the presentation of the pricing structure reads like a sudden, fragmented obstacle course, rather than a strategic financial breakdown.
Yeah, the draft simply lists the $37 front end, follows it with a dizzying array of upgrades.
Right, let's list them. OTO 1 at $97 per year, OTO 2 at $147, OTO 3 at $197, OTO 4 at $97, OTO 5 at $497.
It's just so much. And then it introduces the $317 bundle almost as an afterthought at the very bottom.
Yeah, this layout forces the reader to do mental gymnastics to understand the true cost of scaling their AI media team.
Mental gymnastics is putting it mildly. I mean, if I'm reading this, I'm getting decision fatigue before I've even clicked the buy button.
Oh, for sure. You land on the sales page, you see the $37 price tag, you think, great, I can afford this.
You put in your credit card, and immediately you are hit with OTO1, which stands for one-time offer.
Right, and you're thinking, wait, my workforce is limited unless I pay $97 a year?
So you click no. Boom, OTO2. Wait, I need done-for-you campaigns for $147? Is an exhausting gauntlet.
It is, and the suggestion to fix this is to restructure the pricing section into a strategic buyer's decision tree.
A decision tree. Okay.
Yeah, the author must group the options based on the user's ultimate goal. They need to contrast the absolute minimum barrier to entry against the fully unlocked agency scale.
And crucially, they must emphasize the hidden mathematical value of the bundle discount up front, rather than burying it at the end of a long list.
Exactly. But I mean, I love the concept of a decision tree, but how does the author practically execute that? Because they still have to report all these prices. They can't just pretend the OTOs don't exist.
Right. It's all about categorization and context. Let's look at concrete examples for this restructure.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, frame the $37 front end as the July 13th test drive.
Ah, because of the cart close date.
Right. The material notes the cart closes on July 13th and comes with a 30-day deploy it or don't pay guarantee. So position this $37 tier as the ultimate low-risk entry point to test the 8 AI styles and the multi-platform dashboard.
Okay, so you validate the entry point. You tell the reader, look, if you just want to see if visual human mode actually works in your Chrome browser without breaking, this is your path. Correct. Next, map out the upgrades by function, not just in numerical order.
Okay, how so?
Group OTO1, the unlimited workforce, and OTO3, the elite mode with the AI lead scraper and DM pipeline, as the scale-up stack.
Oh, that makes sense.
Then, group OTO4, the agency license for 100 sub-accounts, and OTO5, the white label SaaS, as the business in a box stack.
This is a massive improvement.
I mean, if I am a solo affiliate marketer looking to promote products on a platform like ClickBank, where I just grab an affiliate link and need traffic, I look at OTO4, the agency tier, and I feel overwhelmed.
Right, because you don't need it.
Exactly. I don't need client sub-accounts. I just want my own Reddit bot to run faster. By grouping OTO 1 and 3 into a scale-up stack, the author is telling me this is your specific lane.
And let's briefly clarify that white label sauce option, OTO5, for our listeners who might not be familiar with the term.
Good idea.
White label software as a service means you buy the right to strip Jono Armstrong's branding off TrafficOS AI, put your own agency logo on it, and sell access to the software to local businesses like chiropractors or real estate agents, keeping 100% of the profits.
Right, so if I run a local lead gen agency, I don't care about the $37 front-end limits. I'm skipping straight to the business-in-a-box stack.
Exactly. Contextualizing these features based on user intent is so much more valuable than just listing prices sequentially.
But what about that bundle offer? You mentioned it was buried.
Oh, right. This is the most critical, concrete example for this section. The author must show the exact math for the bundle upfront.
Yeah, they need to explain that buying the core stack separately costs $428 or more.
Then, point the reader directly to the $317 bundle and prominently feature the Bundle 50 coupon code to drop the final price to $267.
That is a huge difference.
It is. Show how this one-time payment unlocks the core engine, the unlimited campaigns, the elite lead scraper, and the agency dashboard all at once.
Let's really analyze the psychology of that. In the launch space, the bundle is the VIP pass. It allows the buyer to bypass the emotional exhaustion of that 5-step funnel we just talked about.
Right.
But if you bury it at the bottom of the review, the reader has already done the mental math of adding up the individual OTOs and likely decided it's just too expensive.
Exactly. Highlighting that $267 price immediately, right at the top of the pricing section, completely re-anchors the reader's expectation.
It really does.
If they see $267 first and understand the sheer volume of software they get, the unlimited workers, the DM pipeline, the scraper, they view it as a premium enterprise suite.
And the $37 tier then looks like an incredible, lightweight entry point.
But wait, is there a risk, though, that by pushing the bundles so hard, we make the reader feel like the $37 front end is useless?
Oh, that's a good question.
We just established that the $37 tier is a valid test drive. We don't want to inadvertently suggest it's a broken product unless you pay $267.
That's a valid concern, and it's exactly why the decision tree structure works so well. It presents two equally viable, mathematically sound paths.
Okay, yeah.
Path A is the lightweight test drive. Path B is the heavily discounted VIP pass. It frames the choice strategically, completely eliminating the nickel and dime feeling of the fragmented upsell funnel.
It transforms the author from a passive reporter of prices into a highly strategic financial advisor for the buyer. It's excellent.
It really is. But let's look at the bigger picture of why this software even exists, because I think the draft misses a massive opportunity there.
I agree entirely, which brings us to our final focal point. Connecting the creator's specific historical expertise to the software's mechanical promises fundamentally anchors the final verdict in undeniable industry context.
Yeah, looking at the draft, the weakness is that the text mentions Jono Armstrong's background with the Ministry of Freedom and his co-creator Mahmoud Al-Shali via the Redify AI platform, but it fails to bridge how Armstrong's status as a launch-jacking guru directly translates to the necessity of these browser-based AI workers.
Right. The final verdict feels slightly disconnected from the pedigree of the software's architect.
Yes, this is what I was looking for. Software does not exist in a vacuum. It is built to solve the specific operational nightmares experienced by its creator.
Well, and Jono Armstrong is not just some random developer. He has a very specific, very famous history in the affiliate space.
Exactly. So the suggestion here is to intertwine Armstrong's affiliate pedigree with the technological claims to build a stronger, more cohesive case for why this tool exists in its current form.
The author must use this synthesis to drive toward a sharp, honest, and highly actionable final verdict regarding the launch window.
Let's unpack the history a bit for clarity. Jono Armstrong built his reputation and his massive Ministry of Freedom coaching program on the back of something called launch jacking.
For those who aren't deep in the trenches, launch jacking is a strategy where an affiliate intercepts search traffic right before a new product launches.
Right. You find out a tool is launching next week.
You scramble to record a YouTube video reviewing it, you write an SEO-optimized blog post, and you rank it on Google.
And then when buyers search for product name review, they find your content, click your link, and you get the commission.
Exactly. And what is the inherent problem with that model?
The sheer volume of manual labor. I mean, you had to script the video, set up the camera, edit the footage, write a 2,000-word blog post, build a custom bonus page to incentivize the buyer, and actively distribute the links across social channels just to drive initial eyeballs.
It was a grueling high-pressure cycle because you were racing against the launch clock.
Which brings us to the concrete examples for this section. The author should draw a direct parallel between Armstrong's traditional manual launch jacking strategies, intercepting high-intent buyers, and how TrafficOS AI automates this exact philosophy across 6 platforms.
Yeah, explain that the tool's preloaded high-ticket offers, which pay up to $997 per conversion, are a direct technological reflection of his Ministry of Freedom curriculum.
That is a brilliant bridge. TrafficOS AI feels like the mechanization of Armstrong's entire career.
It's not just a generic bot. It's a system designed to find high-intent conversations on YouTube or Quora and inject the affiliate into that conversation at the exact right moment.
And highlighting those $997 high-ticket offers is crucial. And launch jacking volume is hard.
Oh, definitely. If you're selling a $7 PDF and making a 50% commission, you need to drive a staggering amount of traffic to pay your rent.
But if you're selling a high-ticket offer, you only need 3 or 4 conversions a month.
Let's expand on the bonuses because they offer another concrete way to validate the software's pedigree.
Yeah, in the final verdict, the author should weave in the fast action bonuses like the AI Reddit domination pack, the hook generator, the viral post database, the high-ticket offers library, and the Nano Banana image generator as definitive proof that the creators deeply understand the friction points of affiliate marketing.
I really want to emphasize this because in the software launch space, bonuses are usually just, well, total garbage.
Yeah, they are often PLR, private label rights ebooks written a decade ago that vendors just slap a $497 value sticker on to make the bundle look bigger.
Exactly. But look at the AI Reddit domination pack. Reddit is notoriously hostile to marketers.
Oh, incredibly hostile.
You can't just show up and post a link. The community will destroy your karma and get you banned in 5 minutes.
Right. So the pack provides 50-plus high-activity subreddit lists organized by niche, along with pre-written comment templates that fit Reddit's highly cynical culture.
That proves Armstrong and Al Sholey understand the actual battlefield. The same goes for the Nano Banana image generator.
Yeah, if your AI worker is deploying a story-style post on Facebook, it needs a scroll-stopping visual.
Right. And having a text-to-image generator built directly into the Redify AI backend means the user doesn't have to break their workflow to open Midjourney or Canva. It's centralized.
But let's play devil's advocate for a moment. The sales material heavily promotes that TrafficOS AI requires 0 experience and can be set up in under 10 minutes. When we list out all these components, the multi-platform workers, the 8 writing styles, the lead scraper, the DM outreach, understanding Reddit culture, doesn't this start to sound like a massive learning curve?
It absolutely does. I am highly skeptical that a complete beginner with 0 marketing experience can spin up a profitable, multi-platform AI media operation in 10 minutes.
Right. I mean, the technical setup, linking the accounts, clicking deploy, might take 10 minutes. But mastering the strategic nuances of multi-platform engagement is going to require serious study.
Which is exactly why the final concrete example for this section is so vital. The author must conclude the piece with a definitive, time-sensitive recommendation that acknowledges this reality.
Advise the reader to secure the $37 entry point strictly to test the visual human mode before the cart closes on July 13th.
And reiterate that after this window, the software reverts to a costly monthly subscription.
Acknowledging that learning curve actually makes the final recommendation infinitely more credible.
Right. If the author says, look, this is incredibly powerful, but it has a learning curve. Because of Armstrong's proven track record and because the $37 front end gives you full access with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you need to lock in the lifetime access now.
Test it. If the learning curve is too steep, use the guarantee.
That isn't a sales pitch. That is a tactical directive.
It's the ultimate de-risking strategy for the buyer. It uses the pressure of the launch deadline, not as a cheap scarcity tactic, but as a genuine advisory warning to protect the reader's wallet from future recurring costs.
Yeah, when you connect the historical context of launch jacking, the specific utility of the bonuses, the reality of the learning curve, and the hard math of the July 13th deadline, the final verdict transforms from a subjective opinion into an undeniable, logically deduced conclusion.
We've covered significant ground today, analyzing how to take a solid evaluation of a complex software launch and elevate it into a masterclass of strategic buyer guidance. Let's concisely recap the 3 main actionable takeaways for the author of this material.
Sounds good.
First, front-load the platform terms of service risks and define strict audience filters. Explicitly call out who should buy, establish affiliates and agencies, and who should skip, particularly beginners lacking an offer or risking primary accounts. A high-contrast readiness checklist early in the text will immediately establish profound trust.
Absolutely.
Second, restructure the complex OTO pricing into a strategic buyer's decision tree. Instead of a disjointed catalog that induces funnel fatigue, map the upgrades by function. Contrast the $37 July 13th test drive with the fully unlocked capability of the $267 Bundle 50 option. Highlighting this math upfront clarifies the true cost of scaling.
A game changer for conversions, honestly.
And third, bridge Jono Armstrong's launch jacking pedigree with the software's mechanics to deliver a highly credible final verdict. Connect the creator's historical expertise to the specific technological solutions within TrafficOS AI. Acknowledge the reality of the learning curve and make the recommendation to test the $37 entry point before the July 13th cart close, an undeniable grounded directive.
You know, the difference between a good review and a truly great one is entirely in the framing. When you reorganize the information to prioritize the buyer's safety, their cognitive load, and the historical context of the tool, you aren't just reporting on a software launch, you are giving them a map through a very noisy, often treacherous landscape.
We highly encourage the author of this material to implement these structural and thematic changes. Rearrange that pricing tier, pull those terms of service warnings to the forefront, and weave in that Ministry of Freedom context. Once you've revised the piece, we invite you to submit your work back in for another critique. We would love to see how this narrative evolves. Thank you for joining us for this session. Keep refining your material, and we look forward to reviewing your next draft.